In the town where I was born lived a man who sailed to sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. And our friends were all aboard. Many more of them live next door. And the band begins to play. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine.
Hello, my name's Amory, and this is going to be a ukulele class teaching a song by the Beatles called Yellow Submarine. I've created a simplified version of the song to make it easier to learn. The parts that you learn that are included in this song will make it easy for you to learn the entire song if you so choose. Basically, we have the song broken down into two parts: a verse section and a chorus section. The chorus section is really simple, so we're gonna learn that part first, and then we'll move on to the verse, which is also really simple. It just has more than two chords. The verse has two chords, and they're really, really simple. They both actually just use one finger, and you may know them if you've played ukulele before, if you're familiar. It's two of the most common chords that you can learn. First chord is the C7 chord, and the next chord is the F chord, and we're playing it with one finger. Okay? The full F chord, as many people know, has another finger here. But playing it with one finger is good enough if you're just starting out. So for the beginning of the chorus, that's the part where we're all singing, "We all live in a yellow submarine." I'll go ahead and play it for you real quick. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. Two chords, really, really simple. So that first chord is going to be F, all right? And that's what that is. Take your first finger, you place it behind the first fret of what we call the second string. We number the strings this way: string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4. So first finger behind the first fret of the second string is your F chord. And we're going to play that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord is C7, which is you place your first finger on the first fret of the first string. Okay? And that sounds like this. And then you want to play that 4 times. All right? Then you're going to play it another 4 times. Altogether, you'll be playing it 8 times. So another 4 times, 8 altogether. Then you come back and you play the F chord 4 more times. I'll play it all together. 1, 2, 3, progression. All right, if you notice when I'm singing, you'll see that that's how I'm strumming the song. Starting on F. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. And then we repeat the whole cycle again, the same lyrics, the same chords. So the full chorus plays through that cycle twice. So that's really, really easy. And just some tips on how I'm strumming. There's a couple ways to strum. One way is you can use your thumb, and a lot of people like to do that at first. So if I'm playing the F chord and I decide to strum with my thumb, I come down on it like this. And I could also come up with it. So we would call this a downstroke, and if I come up, that's called an upstroke. Down, up. So a lot of people will just combine their downstrokes and upstrokes to create little rhythms. Another way to strum is to use your fingers. I tend to do it this way. I use the fingernails of these two fingers and I flick down. And then conversely, there's the upstroke too, which is basically like I'm curling up with those same fingers, upwards. So downstroke, upstroke. So you can choose whatever way you'd want to go ahead and strum. It's totally up to you. A lot of people like to start with the thumb in the beginning and then move to the fingers as they develop. Everyone does it either way, and it's totally fine. Okay, so the verse is a little bit more difficult than the chorus, but it's still really fun to play. So when we play, we're going to be strumming. We're going to be coming down twice every so often. I kind of consider them like hits, what we call hits, where there's a space and then we strum down a couple times, just like in a rhythmic way. So in this case, with the song, the beginning of the first verse, they sing, in the town where I was born, lived a man who sailed the sea. So there's space, and then after I'm done, I sing a line, and after, we strum it twice. So, in the town where I was born, lived a man who sailed the sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. There's 4 chords there. The first chord after in the town is a chord I showed you earlier. It's the C7 chord. Okay? So we remember how to play that. First finger on the first fret of the first string. In the town, 2 hits. And then there's where I was born, the next line. And then that, we play the F. First finger on F. I also show you that chord. First finger, first fret, second string. Where I was born, lived a man. That's the third line. And this time we're playing what we call a B flat major. And it's a little bit harder because we're using 2 fingers. We're going to take our first finger and we're going to place it over 2 strings. We're going to place it over the first fret of both strings 1 and strings 2. So if you press down with the pad of your finger so that you push down on the strings behind the first fret, hear those two notes ring out, okay? Then you take your second finger and you place it on the second fret of the third string, okay? Second fret of the third string. If you just play that third string, if you pluck it, you'll hear that note. And you can play the whole, all four strings. Okay, that's B flat major, and it's a simpler version that actually I think kind of sounds kind of jazzy, and it's a little bit easier than the full B flat, which would just be taking your third finger, okay, and placing it right here on the third fret of the fourth string, okay. But I like that sound. So that's the third chord. Lived a man, lived a man who sailed to sea. Fourth chord is just the C major chord, okay? So that C major is the third fret of the first string. You place your third finger, okay, this finger right here, your ring finger, you place it right there behind the third fret. So this is the third fret, you place it right there. Okay, simple chords. These are kind of basic, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The B flat might be a little bit of an issue. Okay, but that's the cycle for the verse. So anytime there's a verse, you can play that cycle. You sing the line, and then you play the two hits. So we start with, in the town C7, C7, where I was born, F, F, lived a man, B flat, who sailed to sea, C. And he told, we go to the next line, and he told, and we start the cycle again, C7, us of his life, F, in the land of submarines. So that's basically how that works. So using those concepts will allow you to play the entire song. When you hear a chorus, you can play the chorus chords, and when you hear a verse, you can play the verse chords. Okay, another thing, when you're starting off and you're playing these chords, a great way to hold the neck is to actually cradle the neck in your hands right in this little section right here, this divot. You hold it just like this, okay? That will give you enough of an ability to reach for the chords that you want and still hold the neck so that the ukulele doesn't fall out of your hands, all right? So when you're playing the chords, if you basically hold the neck cradled in this curve of your hand, then you can just reach for the chords that you want. And also you can hold the neck in the ukulele in a way where it's not going to jiggle all around. Let's put everything together, and let's play the first verse and the first chorus. In the town where I was born, lived a man who sailed to sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. Okay, so those are the two major components of the song. the verse in the chorus. So if you can learn the verse in the chorus, the chords that go with the verse, and the chords that go with the chorus, and how they're played in relationship to the lyrics, then you'll be able to just use what you've learned from those two parts, learning the verse and learning the chorus, and you can use those skills to play the entire tune. So if you listen to the Beatles tune, you'll hear that they play a verse, and then they play a chorus, they play another couple of verses, and then they play some choruses, and they play the verse again, and then they play some more choruses. So if you listen to it, you can kind of hear which parts are which, and then you can use what you've learned here to go ahead and play the entire tune. All right, so thanks a lot, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, bye.